Yeah, manners and respect again, people. Yeah, we say that every week because, of course, respect and love the attention and love the support. Yeah, at any rate, welcome to the Reggaecy, where we endeavor to preserve the legacy of reggae and dancehall music by discussing important topics as it relates to the culture. You have Shane, the bubble vest, you know what I mean, and you have Oliver. On the man just hide up the Reggaecy sweater so that make me see what it look like now.
Yo,
All right, you see it?
merch.
Fresh new merch, yo.
Yeah,
And to complement it, of
yeah.
course, you might wear my father watch to
If
complement
yo,
it.
if the people them see the merch and like it, we have some other merch so them can go check it out. Go to the Instagram at the underscore Reggaecy and looking at the bio, you see the link. We have a whole bunch of stuff, men and women stuff. So yeah, we have things for all the pet them too. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
we're
man.
gonna add the link below this YouTube video. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um
yeah, man. Big
yeah.
up.
So you want support, you want to show support, you want to help us push the legacy look forward, you know what I mean? Um Please do. We appreciate the support.
Yeah,
At
man.
any
We
rate,
get some support already, and thanks to the people that will actually go and purchase. We appreciate it. Big up
Jano,
on yourself.
I wish
Yeah.
some of them did take some picture and send some so we could have big them up and shout them out at this
Yeah.
time.
We will get some.
Yeah, because we appreciate them. Um, my normal saying at any rate, yeah, segueing into the first topic of the night. Um, Today, the Grammy nominations came out, right? And we have the Reggae nominees. We have the 5 Reggae nominees. Um, I'm going to mention the nominees and then we have a few questions here and there. Uh, so, not in any particular order because we don't want people feel like them on the pick and choose order. So, without delay, you have Buju Banton. Buju Banton get nominated for Upside Down 2020. And of course, again, let me remind you guys that this nomination is for Best Reggae Album. So Upside Down 2020, Buju Banton. You have Skip Marley for Skip's EP. Remember what is the name of Skip's EP? Um, Oliver Sheen,
Higher
remember?
place.
Higher place, yeah.
Okay, Higher Place. We had reviewed that earlier this year. So if you want to go back just to check out our feelings and the review, just in case you didn't listen to the album, and you just want to get some perspective, you can check out
Yeah.
our video on that, our commentary. And they have Toots and the Metals. Got to Be Tough. We reviewed that as well.
As
We
well,
also
yeah.
reviewed the single. So
So
if you wanna
that's 3 for 3. We actually reviewed all these
those,
three albums.
all
Yeah.
3, right? So if you want some insight on those two, you can go and check those out. So what is that saying? Is that saying that we had some inkling into what the Grammy nominations were going to
Might
be?
look like.
But
I think we kind of had an idea, but we'll get
yeah,
into it. I have some disappointments, and we're gonna get into it. But
yeah,
you know,
yeah. We also have One World by the Wailers, right?
yeah.
Um, how many of you guys knew that album came out or whatever, but we haven't reviewed that one. We might take a peek into it and stuff. And you have It Comes Back to Love by Maxi Priest. That's another album. And yeah, I checked out both albums and to me, good material on both.
Yep.
In all honesty, all albums are worthy, and that is the reason why they're here. Some may say that they never hear this and they never hear that, but I mean they're just nominations, right? If you never hear about them and you want to know if them good or them worth it, you go and check them out. Go and listen to them,
Yep.
support the culture. At any rate, Shane seems quite enthused tonight, so I'm going to start off with Shane.
Want
See,
to be hype, like,
and the first question, of course, everybody I think, are all these albums, the current 5 albums that I just mentioned, deserving of being on the Grammy nominees. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I believe they're deserving of being nominated. You know, they are well produced and put together projects. You know what I mean? There are albums that I was very disappointed in, like the Buju album personally. You know what I mean? As far as what I was looking for or hoping to see versus what was actually, delivered. Maxi Priest is one of my most favorite reggae artists of all time, to be honest. And excited to see his project. I'm surprised though that his album was released from mid last year actually. I'm surprised to see that on this year's Grammy
You think
nominations.
background politics involved?
Possibly. And in a sense, I don't want to believe that it's a case where they felt like, oh, we need one more, and they had to go all the way into last year to select one from way before the time that we usually see.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that should have been nominated in the January of early this year Grammys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that seemed weird, very off to me. You know what I mean? There are other albums that I thought would have been nominated. You get what I'm saying? There are a few albums that I think that would have been nominated.
And this not have nothing to do with the quality of the music, because I personally listened to the entire album.
The album is great.
Yeah. So yeah. Any other mentions you want to point, or anything else you want to point out before we roll to Oliver?
That's it for me. I'll go deeper when we actually talk about the Grammys itself based on the outcome of it. But as far as where it's at now, those are the things I would like to point out.
Okay, Oliver.
So I mean, it's just the nominations. It was good. They announced the nomination. My understanding, it was read out by Megan Thee Stallion. So that's good. That's who they chose to push out the stuff. It seems like maybe they're trying to. I mean, they can make anybody announce it, but I think with the work we've been seeing from a lot of artists, maybe they're trying to get us more involved in the process to shine a little bit more light on the reggae category.
Yeah.
Hopefully. These are all good albums. Like Shane, I'm not gonna say Buju. Look, he's a legend. He was in prison just off that, because the Grammys is not just about whether we like the album.
Yeah.
It's about fanfare and how many people support the project, right? And also the machine behind the project.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there's a machine behind Buju's project, and we said this before. People got upset, but it's the truth. Rock Nation is behind the project. That's huge for them. They're not going to take a L on this magnitude. But again, we had discussed earlier in the year from the previous Grammys. These are all good albums, including even the Maxi Priest and the One World from the Wailers, which I thought was hard because on Tidal they have it listed as Bob Marley and the Wailers. That's an error, because it's just the Wailers now.
Right.
Was that I saw that as well, and I wondered if it's a case where it's just like a combination, and as far as branding and probably copyright goes, it was just a question to myself. I didn't know what that meant.
Where did you listen it from?
Tidal. And it showed Bob Marley and the Wailers.
I don't think it shows that on the other. What did you listen it from?
Apple Music, and
it just says the Wailers.
Wait.
The album art itself. The album art itself says the Wailers. One World, but the title of it says Bob Marley and the Wailers.
I'm not. No, I think I listened to it from somewhere else, probably YouTube, not the Wailers.
But did it said Bob?
Didn't say that. It did not say.
Yeah, I think title is a mistake. I think people sometimes just assume because it's the Wailers, Bob Marley name should be attached, but there was legal issues pertaining to that, and them continuing to use the name.
Yeah, right.
However, the album is a very good one-drop album, but we're not going to go into the real details. I mean, Randy might want to speak on that.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
it's more. This just reinforces what I had said before. These are good albums, yes, but for reggae, it's usually the legacy acts that get selected. And I'm not saying they're not putting out quality music, because usually the instruments and the beats and it's well done, well crafted.
Well done.
This Whaler album, lot of good one drop, bring me back to some really good music.
True.
The Maxi Priest sound like old Maxi Priest, like a real good R&B album, not just a reggae album. But I would have liked to see some other newcomers. I mean, so for me, I don't know if Shane has anyone that he felt like was snubbed.
Yeah,
But for me, I would say maybe an honorable mention, but they can only have 5. Neither Protege or Lila Ike is there. I know
I thought Taurus
Lila
Riley
Ike is new, but Taurus Riley is good too.
Yeah.
But it's almost like with the regular category, if you've never been nominated, it's very hard. You have to
unless
pay
you
your
have
dues.
unless you're making up a bag of noise.
In
Like Coffee did, because that was undeniable.
What would you say though about the people who say, of course, Skip Marley was gonna get nominated? I mean, I'm not. It's a good EP, but for me, if this EP could be nominated, I don't see why.
that is my CM. That's my CM gripe with it, cause
I'm glad Toots is there. I think that's deserved. Go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, I still, that is my CM kind of, what would I call now, hesitation, or for lack of a better term, with even the fact that of these top 5s, right? So many people may question. Of course, you got people who say, yo, they never hear this and they never hear that, right? Because a lot of, I mean, tell you the truth, a lot of these albums weren't really marketed really hard to even our demographic. You know what I mean? So unless you like a real junkie for this type of thing and you seek down and hunt down music, you're not gonna really, some of them you never get exposed to them.
Yeah. Right.
However, nothing against Skip Marley. I like the EP. It was a good EP. Actually, out of all 5, him have the biggest single, a monster single on this one. The single with her is on here, right?
Slow down.
Yes, right. So I believe it's on hers album as well, right? Yeah. But monster single. So that in itself, and they got nominated for that as R&B single of the year or something like that.
Yes, yes. Well deserved.
So that being said, I'm feeling like, yeah, you know what, that is a reason to actually include him in the Grammy nominees still. However, for people that are familiar with reggae, or I'm not even gonna say dancehall, the Taurus Riley album was extremely well done. Really love the album there. That's me personally. I'm gonna feel like it's a major snub, right? Protege's album, well done. Really well done as well. And feel like
indignation.
Right. I'm gonna feel like it's a major snub. So it leads me to ask, what the formula for really for this? Because I'm confused, like me.
There's also a lack of dancehall. Not that dancehall make a lot, but just to bring up that there was no dancehall nomination, not one album.
I think that still has to do with a certain level of segregation.
But can any of you guys answer?
In a way.
Answer or give me any particulars as far as what's the formula to getting a Grammy nomination? Like,
it's political.
I mean, if it comes down to people and what we call big wigs making some of these decisions, it's going to come down to a very political, like Oliver said, decision. So sometimes it's all about, okay, this person is a legend, and their execs and our execs have great relationships. So it's like almost a given, right? So sometimes it's like a certain sense of entitlement, like, okay, you are this legend and whatever the case is, so you should be, if anybody, the one who is nominated. You know what I mean? As opposed to our upcoming artists, regardless of how well they've done.
So
So that's how I feel about it.
So I mean, the Grammy is like a process, right? To people who don't know, it's not like just popularity vote.
Mm.
It's a process where it's almost like you're looking for a job, or you're an actor trying to get
Land a role.
a role. You actually have to go out and advocate for yourself. You
right.
have to go in the right rooms. You have to talk to the right people. I mean, when we see it on the TV, it comes down to just, oh, the Grammys, these are the selection. It seems like everything is just by someone locked in a room or by popular, but it's not that. That's not how it works. It actually works by the you have to actually do something, right? You have to actually have your agents, your manager reach out to certain people to even put you in the nomination.
Hold on there, Oliver. Yeah, that being said, too, another part one more want point out. So the people them are actually vote as well, right?
Yeah.
You don't like you don't just get chosen as a person to vote. I believe you have to be somebody that either produce, I think, between 2 to 5 major projects or something of the sort, and other accolades where will give you the not the right or the qualification to become a person that's a part of the fraternity that's allowed to vote on what wins or get are is ultimately the winner for the category.
Correct.
That being said, again, you mentioned political, and that to me, if nothing else not speak political to you, what else would? You know what I mean? Because, for instance, again, if you're not in line to know certain producers and certain people that are major people in the music scene. Of course, say for instance, a known artist now is more inclined to know a few people where regardless of what them say, or them gonna vote for them artists. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it seemed like to me before, and it's even seeming like that more today because, as Shana Oliver mentioned, are the usual suspects again. Usual suspects. So people
it hurts the genre because it makes it seem like, and I'm not saying they're not good artists, but it just makes it seem like we have no new crop of talent. And honestly, what does that say to the new listener, the casual reggae listener? You know, not to say anything for these guys, but it's like, man, I've been listening to these guys for 40 years, 30 years. You have no one else?
Sure.
There's no.
And the crazy thing, and next, another crazy part about that, if you look on the awards like the MOBO or whatever in Europe and in Britain over that side, they always nominate young artists, and that is more motivation for the artists them actually to push through. You know, because sometimes I even notice when some of these artists get nominated, they're so surprised and shocked, as like so elite, and it give them a drive. Next year, they might do better than what them do this year. So
it's like it would be akin to the Grammys always nominating Nas, even though Nas has never won a Grammy, but they've never just nominate him every time he puts out an album, right? There's a bunch of new hip hop artists. Reggae is not getting the same look, and yes, we don't produce albums as much, and it's always the older legacy acts are the ones putting out album, so that has something to do with it. But like an artist like Dexter Dapp, his album was good to me, despite you might not agree with the content.
Yeah.
Not saying it should have been nominated. I'm just saying, are these albums even getting looks? Are they just ignoring them because who is a Dexter Dapp? I never heard of this because it's some old guy.
So, or is it that then these elder statesmen of the reggae genre, them actually have the plug-in and know the formula for get
That's part of it.
get in there, So I mean, I guess we still have work to do. Still
Yeah,
have
so
work to do.
I guess one of the questions is there any, or how are they grooming any other artists or any other acts towards being nominated for the Grammys or any kind of recognition as such, right? Is it a case where they're just doing their thing and letting the younger people or the less experienced people, as far as the Grammys go, just do what they're doing? And if you get nominated, it's almost like a buck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, is there any kind of advocation for the genre as a whole to say, okay, these are the formulas that you need to follow to get a better chance or opportunity to be heard at the level of Grammys? You know what I mean?
I think the Grammy is not allowing us to grow, though. I really believe that.
That is what you see. That way you just point out, though, Shane. That is what, because I think the Grammys are important, right? It's the recording academy, and you're getting recognized for your art, and it's the biggest in the world. And who wouldn't want to get recognized for the work that they've put in over the years? Who wouldn't? You know what I'm saying? So what I would like to know, though, just like any test, just like a litmus test, just like whatever, what are the requirements?
Yeah.
What I would really like, because I would like to share that
I think the requirements are more length of the song, length of the album, the project, and things like that. I don't think they disclose that. It's very generic, right?
Yeah, but then Coffee's EP was very short.
Yeah, but it met the length. That's what I'm saying. It meant the required length, whatever that length is. I know there's a length. I don't know the exact right now. We can look it up.
Okay, important point. But I think that would also mean that all those other acts that we talked about and spoke about, they most likely would have met those requirements as well. Even the EP.
It must be a minimum total playing time of 15 minutes with at least 5 distinct tracks.
Yeah, so
all of them.
15 minutes is not that long.
Yeah, and all of these
so these are
albums are EPs.
Generic.
Right. All of these albums are EPs that we've listened to throughout this year.
Would have
met that. So
well, I don't think the issue is meeting the requirements. I think the issue is the political side of it, like we've been saying. Actually knowing how to do things, how to go about it.
How to get in those rooms.
How to promote yourself in California.
boy, I'm just
go Hollywood, yo.
I'm frustrated. Because then if you say that now about the California part, if you ask me then, the Whalers one way like a win. Because it have a California sounding type of one drop reggae type of vibe. Like
we'll see in January
like the cliche reggae. That before we even go, that's the number one of the main questions. No, I say nothing but
who do we think will win?
Yes.
It's hard to say.
Individually, why you say what you feel and then Shane.
If you were gonna ask me with a gun to my head, I would say the Buju Project, but I don't agree with that. I don't know if I buy. No, I'm not saying. I want the people to listen. I'm not saying. For me, it's my opinion, people. I have my opinion. You might think my opinion doesn't matter, but it's my opinion on this. Now, for me, I would like to see Toots win the Grammy. And I know he died, and it's not because he died. I thought this album was very good, especially for a 77-year-old. And the messages that were in the album and how crisp his voice was for me. But that's, some people are going to laugh. Because like I said, we did a review and it's probably one of our least watched videos of Toots. Because unfortunately, our genre does not respect legends. We like to put them in the dirt, so to speak. Only certain legends we respect.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shane.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, who I'd want to win versus who I think will win.
Boy, Shane have to take a deep breath a while ago. Man, you would exhale now, man, and be free, brother.
No, but being exhaling, man. That's all. Well. You wanna stop breathing nobody. But I think just from a political standpoint, I think Buju is going to win, right? In a lot of cases because of the power that's behind his machine. You get what I'm saying? And
So not based on the project.
no, less based on the project and more based on what's the word? Influence.
Okay.
And not necessarily influence as far as your fan base and all of these things, but influence as far as the executive relationships surrounding his project.
There are some people who are going upset in a shit.
I don't care.
And say you're talking out with us because we don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure, but
And
I'm
that
saying
Buju album is the best album.
I'm saying, and I disagree that it's the best album, even in the lineup that's there. You get what I'm saying? As far as a great, awesome, put together album, I'd say the Wheelers album above Buju album. I'd say Toots album above Buju album.
Yeah.
I'd say Maxi Priest album over Buju album easily. You get what I'm saying? Even Skip.
Wow.
Buju Banton album is the least favorite album of mine on the.
I'm not gonna do this on this one again.
Yo, enough said right there. Shane has said it. He's laid down the gauntlet, people.
Yo, people come and get him.
No, honestly, you get me. And anybody disagree.
No, we would have.
Yeah, go and listen to all those 5 albums that were nominated.
And be unbiased.
Tell me which you think is the best, or you can rank those albums. So comment, and you can comment, viewers, on which album you think are the best. In your own opinion, rank those 5 albums.
Yeah.
Right. So Buju Banton's Upside Down, Toots and the Maytals Got to Be Tough, Skip Marley, Higher Place, and what's the other one?
Maxi Priest, It Comes Back to Love.
It Comes Back to Love, and the Wailers, One World.
Yeah.
And you would tell me which do you think is the better one, down to the the worst, and you can have your.
So Randy, you need this now miss you.
Yeah, well, there's a lot that you both have said when I can't go around. I mean, I got attempt to go around it. I want to say it. So me just gonna lead with who I would prefer to win. And it's gonna seem like we agree again there. I would prefer that Toots and the Maytals win. Would I prefer if it's Toots win?
But why? You have to give them your why.
So overall, with everything, this album is a breath of fresh air from a elder statesman man of reggae who actually between him and him group members kind of term reggae, do the reggae. So with this album, I'm not sure if many people listen to it, but
they did not.
For me, just even the rhyme scheme and some of the things that was said on the Sonics in this album, it was like a breath of fresh air, and it brought back old stuff. It brought back, you had some scare on it, you have a variety of different forms of
gospel sounding
of reggae, right? You have a plethora of different sounding forms of reggae that was well done, not just done to be done. You know what I mean? So it surprised me with some of the, I can say, rhyme schemes 77-year-old Toots have, to me, might seem simple to some people, but make more sense than a lot of the younger folks doing. You dig? So for me, I think this would be the actual crowning on top of the fact that not just because Toots Frederick Toots Ibert passed away this year because of Corona. Not just because of that. You know what I mean? Even before that, just I felt like it is that well deserving. You understand?
Yeah. The
Right?
funny part is people are going to be upset at us for picking one legend over the other. Isn't that crazy? And most of them will not have listened to the Toots album. I
So
guarantee.
so again, right? Um, I know this is a competition. It might seem like a popularity competition to some. It might be political to some, right? But I just feel, my personal feelings, and I'm gonna make it explicitly clear. These are my personal feelings, right? I think "Got to Be Tough" by Toots and the Maytals should win. That's my pick. I don't know if that's what will happen, but that's my pick. Um, and I just explained why, right? And on the flip side, though, again, I mentioned another album when me tell us it sound like the type of box where everybody want to put us in, right? It sound like the type of cliche type of reggae where everybody want to put us in, right? And that album to me is One World by the Wailers, right? No knock against One World by the Wailers because I like it. I like everything that I heard off of it, right? But it's that type of cliche reggae that I can bring you back to the early successes of reggae where it's like, okay, someone gonna say, yo, is this all that we can do? Can we be a little bit more creative? But not to say that they weren't creative, and not to say that the lyrics and content of these songs weren't fresh. They are, right? But I think maybe One World by the Wailers will win, but I would prefer if Toots and the Maytals won. That's for
All
me.
right, so okay, so that's your pick, and yeah, so let me say, I think Buju will win just because, but I would like for Skip Marley to win, because he's young and upcoming, and regardless of his last name, he's a very good artist, and I think he's done well so far, and I would like to see Skip Marley win. I would have liked to see other people in the lineup, but the lineup is there, and there's
Yeah,
not much we can do about
you can only choose five.
that. So, but
And I kind of understand why you'd have said Skip Marley too, because for me, if Skip have the biggest single out as far as even sales, where not all these albums combined can some amount to, I'm thinking, why not Skip?
Why not?
But again, some people will say that, oh, he's from the legendary Marley family, and it's almost like their birthright. Every one of them have to win the Grammy. You see me, I say? So yeah. However, people, we have more topics to discuss, and I wouldn't want for us to be, belaboring this particular thing because the Grammy hasn't actually happened yet. Early next year, January next year. I believe is usually when it happens. So,
Go check out the albums and tell us what you guys think.
or
Who do
check
you
out
want to win?
yeah,
And pick your favorites.
or check out our reviews of the first three that we mentioned: Upside Down 2020, Higher Place, and Got to Be Tough by Toots. We reviewed those three. So yeah, I can tell you how you feel about it based off our reviews as well.